China is in this incredible race against time. It's building one of the most important industries of the 21st century, not just for global influence, but for its own survival. Let's break down what's really going on.
And look, this isn't some abstract story about economics or faraway technology. The rise of China's health industry is going to fundamentally change the future of well-being for billions of people, and that includes you. I mean, we all learned this lesson the hard way, didn't we? A health crisis that starts in one city, like Wuhan, doesn't stay there. In a matter of weeks, it can spiral into a global shockwave, pushing our economies and our political systems to the absolute limit. And that single event, it just hammered home a really crucial point for the modern world. The production of health isn't just about doctors and medicine anymore. It is a vital strategic industry.
So you gotta ask, why is China making this such a massive national priority? Well, it's because it's facing a perfect storm of internal crises that are seriously threatening its future. To get it, we really need to look at what's happening inside its borders first. All right, so China is grappling with two huge intertwined challenges that have vaulted healthcare right to the top of its national agenda. There's this pretty simple rule in economics. Richer countries tend to be healthier countries. It's a relationship that experts call the Preston curve. And check this out, you can actually say that global progress right here. Each of these dots represents a country. Just watch how the whole cluster of them moves up and to the right from 1960 to 2015. As the world got richer, life expectancy shot up. It's a really powerful visual. And honestly, no country shows this better than China. The progress has been just astonishing. They've accomplished in a few decades what took other nations centuries. The World Bank even called it the first Chinese healthcare revolution.
But, and this is a huge but, that incredible success, especially when you combine it with decades of the one-child policy, has created a ticking demographic time bomb. The ratio of retirees to workers is set to explode, which means a shrinking workforce has to support a much, much larger elderly population.
But that's not the only problem. That big, shiny growth story, it's hiding a massive divide. I mean, look at this chart. The gap between what people make in the cities versus the countryside, it's not just a gap, it's a chasm. You're basically looking at two completely different Chinas. So what does this actually feel like for people? Well, it means the whole idea of an acceptable level of health is totally different for a professional in Shanghai versus a worker out in a rural province. We're talking different expectations, different access to care, and ultimately different outcomes. Okay, so you've got this aging population on one side and this massive inequality on the other. So what's the plan? Well, Beijing's solution is to treat health not as a social problem to be managed, but as a strategic industry to be won. And they are going all in. In this direction, it comes straight from the top. President Xi Jinping has made it clear that health isn't just a social good. It's absolutely essential for economic growth and political stability. It's now a core national priority. And look, this isn't just some vague promise. It's a very clear three-part game plan. First, they're unleashing a fire hose of money into new hospitals and R&D. Second, they're pushing for innovation at lightning speed, especially in biotech and big data. And third, they're opening up to the world, pulling in foreign investment while also expanding their own companies abroad. But in this whole global race, China has a kind of secret weapon, a unique competitive advantage that's, well, it's almost impossible for anyone else to match. It's the sheer number of people. We're talking 1.4 billion. But this isn't just about having a big market. It's about the data that population generates. Just think about it for a second. Every single time someone sees a doctor, that creates data. With 1.4 billion people, the amount of health data China can collect is just mind-boggling. It's way, way more than any other country can get. This stuff is basically the crude oil of 21st century medicine, and China is sitting on the biggest reserves on the planet. Okay, so we've seen the internal pressures and the grand strategy, but what does all of this mean for the rest of us living outside of China? Well, as we're about to see, it affects every single one of us. Yeah, this huge national project is definitely not going to stay contained within China's borders. Whether it succeeds or fails is going to have a direct impact on how we fight the next pandemic, how much our medicines cost, the stability of medical supply chains, and even the future of our own personal data privacy. And that leaves us with this one big, provocative thought to chew on.
As China goes all in on building its health industry, it isn't just shaping its own destiny. It is setting the stage for the future of health for everyone. So the real question isn't if China will succeed, but what that success is going to look like for the rest of the world.